Haters are gonna hate. I got 10 ways to deal with haters today, right now. But first we gotta get some food. I'm so hungry. Where's my frying pan? All right, we got sweet corn balls, vegetarian chicken nuggets, ding dongs, vegetarian burgers, and they just go in. And now we got ourselves a meal. Fizz sticks. Fizz stick.
I'm so hungry, I'm gonna hate everything.
A few moments later.
This is one way for me to go from hater to lover. Sweet potato. You know what? It doesn't matter if you are a person that solves the world's cancer, no matter what. For some reason, you could be doing the best thing in the world, and guess what? People gonna hate you. That's just how it works. Why do they hate? I don't know why they hate, but you know what we're gonna deal with right now? We're gonna deal with how to deal with the haters. Now, poppies are the state flower of California, and there's a story I heard about them. So when poppies grow, they grow like this, right? No poppy grows higher than the next poppy. No poppy will ever grow higher than that because they don't want to be like this or that. They only want to be even. And so as soon as you start doing anything in your life that you kind of stick your neck out for, the hater's going to find you. All right, let's get into it. How do we deal with it? Salem, you all right? You got any haters? Actually, there's a white kitty cat that he doesn't like. Is it the white kitty cat that doesn't like you? Salem, how do you deal with haters? He just keeps quiet. So it's easy to complain about the haters. You know, why are they here? Why do they got to bother me? But well, you know what I always found? The biggest hater in the world is usually right here. You see right here? This area, in between here. Me. I'm usually hating on me more than anybody else. I'm usually pushing the buttons going, no. A lot of times what the hater says, it kind of triggers me because I'm kind of thinking that about myself too. And once somebody says it externally, I'm like, why you gotta hate? Even though I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Now, back in 1991, I was an intern at a video production house. I wanted to be a video editor. And I was following around this editor called Mark Sherman, and he had a girlfriend, right? And this girlfriend was the graphics person. And so I was learning editing from him, and I'd get him a pack of cigarettes, and I'd get him his food, and I was working for free. I was happy to work for free. Before that, I was sweeping trash at Disneyland. So, hey, I was happy that I was at least learning the craft of video production. And so this woman, that's the girlfriend of this guy, Mark, she was cool. She would teach me graphics, and she was a really good artist. Now, this is before Photoshop. We're talking 1991. We didn't have Photoshop. We had something called a paint box. It had a giant Bernoulli disc, and this Bernoulli disc had like 14 megabytes of storage, and you would make a layer like on Photoshop, and then you would save it, right? And then you had one layer, and then you could make that layer, and then you saved it on this giant disc. And then if you wanted to make changes, you had to have like 20 of these discs and you could go back on the layers and change them, right? Well, she was really good and she taught me stuff. And one day, Mark Sherman got sick.
Hey, David, you're up. You get to go edit today.
And we're going to pay you. No, it's going to be a simple job. You're just changing some graphics. So you got to know a little bit of graphics and you got to know a little bit of editing. Ooh, cool. And so I go there. And then Mark Sherman's girlfriend, Natasha. Anyway, you know what she says to me? I go, hey, guess what? I get to edit and do some graphics. She's like, I'm not booked for that. I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so happy. You know what this chick said? She said this.
David, I hope you fail.
I hope you fail. That's what she told me. I was like, yay, I'm a happy, like, new intern guy, and I'm gonna learn stuff.
I hope you fail.
Literally what she told me. That broke my spirit so bad. You hate me. Well, you know how I dealt with that. Well, I got really good at graphics in that editing session. I got really good at editing in that editing session. I told them I didn't want any money, that I just wanted to keep learning. And when I did get hired with real money, I wanted $25 an hour. Now, mind you, I was making $2.25 at Disneyland. And I said, don't pay me until you think I'm worth the same as Mark Sherman and the same as Natasha.
They're
must be something really rotten we can do today.
And then you know what I did? I took both of their jobs. I became an editor and a graphics person, did the entire next 2 years, 1994 and 1995, took both their jobs, and then went to the E! Channel and started working on the Howard Stern show. When you get some haters, you know what that means? You're probably doing something right. The emergence of haters is a signal that guess what? Something you're doing is making people a little antsy because you might be doing a little bit more than they are. You know what? You can learn from their attitude. If they're treating you like that, you can kind of see how bad that feels, and it can almost make you kind of treat people better in a way. Do you know what I mean? If you're like, oh man, I can't believe they're treating me like that. It's like, should I go out and treat people like that too? Or should I just be like, well, I hate this, and so I'm not going to treat people this way. You can kind of see almost like if you were treating people bad, what's it feel like? It doesn't feel so great. I used to have no empathy. I used to think like, look, man, things can be tough in life, and you either toughen up or you shrink. And so I was like, go forward, do things, and if you don't, well, you're a loser. Literally, that's what I thought, because I thought that myself. I thought if I'm not doing something, I must be a loser if I can't make things happen. But then I started to have empathy, and empathy is just kind of understanding that not everybody's where you're at. I might be stronger in some areas and a lot weaker in other areas, but having empathy for other people is kind of like what I learned is being accepting, just being accepting of everybody and everything. Now just use their criticism as a way of kind of self-checking. You know when you have a job and the guy's like,
Hey, I gotta come in, you gotta have a review.
you know, and they kind of go, okay, David, you're always late, you're always in the bathroom, and you always leave a mess on your desk. You know, they give you like an evaluation, right? It's a kind of a chance for you and your boss to talk things out in a formal way. Well, sometimes when haters hate, it seems like hate because you're like, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? But sometimes it could be true. And the thing about when haters say something, there might be a little bit of truth and they kind of stretch it to kind of fit their needs. But somewhere in that stretched out bit of truth, that little bit of truth might be something that I need to work on. So haters can say things against you. I remember I had a movie premiere and everyone's like, oh, it's not so great. It's not so this. I'm like, you know what? I made a movie with a bunch of good people, and it was like a 1.5-year process. I had it premiere in Hollywood in a movie theater, not like in somebody's garage, like in a film theater at a film festival. My movie was placed up on the marquee with all the other big Hollywood movies in Hollywood, and people came to watch my movie. So whether or not they liked it or not, or people said stuff or not, it's on Amazon, by the way. It's called The Drone Invasion. You can check it out. No matter what, I still did what I did, and that's a victory.
You can do it!
I hope those tips on dealing with haters at least get you started. I mean, can you watch a YouTube video and solve all your problems? Probably not. But at least these can get you thinking, get you started. Do you have any tips on dealing with haters? Leave them in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm David Oneal, and I'll see you next time.